Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. I am currently kneeling alongside the road next to one of my no-till fields that we've been running now for the last 8 years. And one of the issues that we're starting to have with this field, we think, is compaction. At the advice of Andrew, he recommended that we rip this particular field. And as such, we have a case Magnum with a 7-shank ripper on the way. And I wish it was during the daytime, but Kenny Richter is on his way now to come rip this for us since we don't have a ripper ourselves. And we're gonna give it a shot, see how I like it, and see if I notice any effect from ripping it. Before we have been running this particular field, the landowner was running it and they had ripped it, I think he said every 4 years. This was the 8th year that we've run it, and it hasn't been ripped since. So we want to try it and see if we notice any difference. Kenny has just pulled into the field. I'm going to fly the drone out over him, get some footage of it running. I want to see how the ripper does. Now, when we're going through and ripping this, we're not trying to really mix up the top layer of soil like we are with chisel plowing. We're just trying to get underneath the compaction layer, and on the ripper there's wings that kind of lift the ground up, and it's meant to fracture the ground to provide a way for the crop's roots to go down into the ground. The big worry is that he's going to do a lot of spinning, because not in this particular field, but it has been particularly wet in some areas. In this no-till field, this is probably the driest one that we've seen. So he just pulled into the field now. He dropped the ripper down. Let's go see what kind of job it's doing. I don't feel like it's tearing up the top layer too terribly bad. That's kind of been one of my main concerns about this ever since we came up with the idea to do it. This particular field yielded 42 bushels to the acre in the soybeans, which is my record low for beans. But historically, I mean, this has been a good performing field for me, and this was an outlier year. This field had a few issues going on with it that contributed to that lower yield, but even in the areas where there wasn't other afflictions, it wasn't running as good as I feel like it should be, comparatively to the other fields that I'm running. over there. Buck.
Yep, nice one.
Pretty good buck, yeah. Seems like it's working down better than I had anticipated. So, it's been a week and a half since this field was ripped, and I'm interested to see what the yields do next year, if we see any return on actually having it ripped or not. And if we don't, then I guess we just won't be ripping anymore. But I really do think it's going to help. Most of the action that happened was down underneath the soil, but there are areas where you can see that it was pulling up chunks. He said this field pulled fairly well. And my other field, he said, actually pulled even harder. So again, we left test areas, check strips we call them, around areas in the farm. I think I might fly the drone up and take a down looking picture so that I know exactly which areas were ripped, and then I can overlay that with a yield map next fall. But you can see that they got the fertilizer put on. When we harvest my cornfields next fall, I'll mention whether or not I think that having this field ripped helped or not, and whether or not I think we saw any return on it. I think we should. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat, all how farms work. And be sure to stay tuned next year on whether or not I feel that having these fields ripped was bringing back any kind of return. I'll see you next time.